Today I'm finally doing a video on antidepressants and my experience with medication. This could potentially be quite a long video. I'm going to keep looking back at my laptop because I've kind of logged everything since I started taking them. I am currently on Citalopram 20 mg. Citalopram can be used for anxiety and as an antidepressant. For anxiety, I think the prescription is normally just 10 milligrams, whereas for depression it can range from 20, I think, to 30 and definitely 40. So I don't really know where to start. In my final year at uni, I went to the doctor, and this was mainly for my anxiety. I just could not cope with how anxious I was all of the time. Like, it was the physical effects of anxiety. Like, you know, you just can't actually bring yourself to do certain things because you're so incredibly anxious. So my third year I went to see the doctor, and this was 2017, probably September, that I went to see the doctor. And first of all, I was offered tablets, and I said, no, I don't want to try tablets straight away, because my friends had experience of being on tablets for anxiety and how she said they were just really difficult to come off, and I just didn't want to have to do that at all. So she suggested counselling, and the uni offered 6 free counselling sessions. Those sessions, yeah, they didn't help me. Might work for some people, but for me it kind of just made me realise how many problems I have in my life and how many problems I have with myself. It kind of made me feel worse, if anything. It was good to like express all of my emotions and not be judged and have someone listen and give advice, but it was good to get confirmation that I wasn't like crazy. That was one of the things I said. I was literally like, it feels like I'm going crazy. And she said, normally when people go crazy, they don't realise they're going crazy, so that's a good start that you actually realise that you think that. Coming towards the end of 2017, things were not improving. I felt horrific, if I'm honest. I felt incredibly low. It was really affecting my friendships, my relationships with my partner, my family, everyone, everything. I didn't want to do anything. The only thing it wasn't affecting was my uni work. I'd never been so focused on my uni work. I think I must have used that as my biggest distraction. I just went straight into it and was just on it. Coming into 2018, nothing improved, if I'm honest. I felt a bit better in February. And then from February until I graduated, I'd say in June, mid-June, shit started going downhill pretty quickly. I just graduated from uni. I was working at a restaurant. I felt like I was failing at life, to be honest. I couldn't get a job anywhere that like actually would allow me to have a career or use my degree or, you know, something I was passionate about. And I think that's where the downhill spiral started, because I just could not get a job. It was really difficult, feeling like, right, I've graduated, I've worked really hard, and now I can't get employed anywhere. I felt really distant from the great friends that I made at uni, who have been the most amazing support to me, and it was just really difficult to be away from them. I'd never expressed how I felt to my friends at home, to be honest. Don't think any of them, well, none of them knew how I felt, how I was feeling, what I was going through, because I just didn't speak about it. I was never one to, I never wanted the focus to be on me in a like concerning way. I didn't want sympathy, which is not the way to go about it. Anyway, end of July, my relationship was starting to become really affected by my depression. The way that was going, it just forced me to get help. It was like, not an ultimatum, but it was like, I knew if I didn't get better, my relationship was never going to be there. And that was really important to me. So the 1st of August, I woke up a state. I called the doctor straight away. I was anxious. I was very, very down. And I called the doctor about 9:30 and I had an appointment at 11. It's usually really hard to get in with the doctor, but I think if you explain the severity, like I did, they've got people on hand for you. Anyway, I went to the doctor's a mess, and he didn't really seem to like care, which is fine. I got what I wanted out of it, but he didn't really seem to care. And I knew in my head I wanted medication. I didn't feel like I could get better without medication. Even though it's possible, people choose different paths to go down, people, you know, do things differently, and different things work for other people, but for me, I didn't think I could do it by myself. I didn't think I had the strength. I didn't think I could mentally get out of the hole I was in. And the doctor offered straight away. He said, "Did you want to go on tablets?" I said, yeah, I want tablets, please. So he prescribed me Citalopram 20 mg. He also gave me the number for the NHS helpline, Let's Talk, which was amazing, and again, incredibly scary and nerve-wracking, but calling that helpline was one of the best decisions I ever made. I'll do a separate video on that because that was quite intense, and it will be extremely helpful for people, even if you don't consider medication. That helpline's amazing, but you have to be really brave when you call them. But yeah, I'll do a video on that another time. So in regards to my tablets, I'm going to keep looking at my laptop screen just because it's all written down. Citalopram, I was a bit wary taking tablets anyway. And of course, when I got prescribed them, I was straight online trying to find... The first thing I typed in was, how long does Citalopram take to work? I just thought, I want to wake up tomorrow and I want to feel on top of the world. But sadly, it doesn't work like that. It takes time. So Citalopram is supposed to start working around 4 weeks in, 4 to 6 weeks in, which sounds like a long time, but between when I started taking them and when I felt improvements was crazy. The first 2 weeks you feel side effects of the tablets. For me, I lost my appetite completely. I did not want to eat. I was not hungry, which I guess a bit of a bonus, but I did look a bit frail. And then when I started eating again, the weight went straight back on anyway. So for me, in terms of side effects, I had no appetite. I was very, very tired. I would sweat a lot in the night, like wake up in like cold sweats and then hot sweats. It was really weird. I sometimes got headaches, and I also got really achy teeth, which is not listed on the NHS side effects. There's a list of different side effects, but I'm pretty sure the achy teeth came with the tablets because, you know, a week later they stopped aching. Other side effects that the NHS website lists is like dry mouth, not being able to sleep. So they recommend taking your tablets in the morning, which I did anyway because I hate not being able to sleep. Feeling weak. I mean, there's a bunch of different side effects, but nothing crazy bad, to be honest. So during that time when I felt the side effects, it was a really weird time for me because I was so down, but I knew I was moving in the right direction to make good improvements, if that makes sense. So I wasn't as down because I knew I was helping myself, and I knew that things were going to improve, because if I kept taking these tablets, I knew that after 4 weeks I was going to start to feel better within myself, and there'd be physical improvements too in terms of being able to eat, sleep, not sweating through the night. I don't think you can just lay in bed, take tablets and hope for the best. I was like out. I'd walk a lot. I'd always take a walk, like a scenic walk up a hill. I'd get fresh air. It was warm, you know, get some sun on my skin, do some like light exercise. So obviously I wasn't eating very much, so I was pretty weak. I would listen to podcasts about, you know, recovering and how to find happiness and look after yourself. Otherwise I'd probably cry all the way up the hill and all the way back down. But listening to this podcast gave me a bit of hope. It made me feel hopeful and think about the positives of the future rather than thinking like my life's shit. And then when I got to the top of the hill, I would sit there for absolutely ages, maybe 2 hours sometimes. I sometimes try and meditate. I'd just sit in silence or listening to my podcast, just looking at nothing. Then I'd walk back down and go home. And I got into a routine of doing that every single day at a certain time, because I just wanted the days to go quicker, if I'm honest. I wasn't working at the time. I just felt horrific. I just wanted every day to go faster. That would get closer and closer to feeling better. It was so hard to make time go, and I wasn't with my partner at the time, which was really difficult because of my depression. 2 weeks into it, I'd not spoken to a single friend. The only people that knew was my mum and one of my little sisters, because I was literally like housebound. I just stayed in the house. They're the only people they are the only people I spoke to. So it was quite a tough time, to be honest. But that all depends on, like, you know, what you do. If you find work easier to work, you know, then that's good. But I just didn't have a job because I quit. Before I went to the doctor, I quit because I just didn't want it anymore. I just tried to keep myself busy and productive in different ways. Reading on my phone. I stayed away from social media. I didn't have any of my social media apps until I started my mental health page, which helped me a lot in ways I just can't even explain, because I was able to express myself freely, openly, and none of my friends knew, you know. It was nice. I could feel a difference getting close to the 4-week mark. I'd say 4 weeks in, I felt positive. I didn't want to die anymore. I thought about my future. I thought about that I want to get married one day, have a house one day, get a great job one day, have kids one day. So all of those kind of wants and hopes came back, and they didn't seem, you know, I feel like I was out of the black hole and like I could breathe, which was a great feeling. Coming up to the 6-week mark, I was able to sort things with my boyfriend, which was amazing. You could see I could see a real difference in myself. I'd spoke to my friends by this point. I mean, I spoke to about 5 of them, and 3 of them were really great. You can't expect everyone to understand what you're going through and react the way you want them to. So I started taking them 1st of August. Comes 1st of September, I felt much more positive about the future. Between like that September time and now, it's been really difficult. You feel so much more lifted. You feel slight motivation in the sense of, if you're having a bad day, you still manage to get out of bed, have a shower, and get dressed. Whereas if you're having a bad day, when I was having a bad day not on the medication, I'd stay in bed, wouldn't move, I wouldn't clean, I wouldn't change my clothes, I would not do anything, I wouldn't open the blinds, I'd just lay in bed and cry. Whereas now it's different. But taking the medication was in combination with going to cognitive behavioural therapy, which that as a pair, medication and CBT, I completely 100% recommend, because the things that CBT teaches you is amazing. And I'll talk about that in the video where I talk about the NHS helpline, because that's the only reason why I went to CBT, and I wish everyone could go to it as like compulsory, because it's amazing. My down days now, they usually are just one day, maybe 2, like at a time, but they're pretty down, they're pretty low days. They're days when I'm exhausted and I can't deal with shit anymore. They're days of like, my mindset is like, it would be so much easier to just not be here, and you know, that kind of mindset, which obviously isn't the best mindset at all. But then when I feel good, I feel pretty good. I've got an appointment with my doctor at the end of this month, end of January, and I'm gonna talk to him about my lows, because I shouldn't really be feeling like that in my lows, and if I was to do something in my lows that I regret, when I'm back up and feeling good, you know? Because then when I'm feeling good, I'm literally like, how could I have been thinking that on my low day? That doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't even feel like that. Like, I've got a great job and great people around me, and do you know what I mean? So it's quite scary. These tablets, they recommend being on for a minimum of 6 months. I am at the 6 month mark, aren't I? No, February will be the 6 month mark. Let's see what my doctor has to say. You know, when you go to the doctor, you feel like crap. You're making a doctor's appointment in like a week's time, when it comes to it, and you're actually having a good day. So when you talk to the doctor, you can't like fully portray how you're feeling and how you've been feeling to him. So my friend suggested writing it all down when I feel low. So I've written it all down, and I'm going to show him exactly my thoughts on those low days. And yeah, in terms of coming off the tablets, I'm scared to death of coming off these tablets. I'm not gonna lie. I never want to come off them, because I don't know what I'm going to be like when I'm off them. I don't know what my low days are going to be like when I'm off them. When right now, when I'm on them, my low days are horrific. So I'm pretty scared. But I am going to say all of that to my doctor. I'm not... If my doctor thinks I should come off them and I don't feel like I should, I'm going to say something. I'm not going to be quiet about it. Like, of course, doctors know what they're doing, but no one knows you and your feelings like you do. They can't read your mind. In terms of if you're thinking about taking medication, there are many different types out there. I did not research any at all. I just went to the doctor, told him how I felt, and he gave me what he thought I should have. If that doesn't work for me, or, you know, whatever, I'm sure the doctor will give me something else. If you're unsure whether to take medication, if you feel like you've tried something else before and you feel like it is something you need, don't feel scared to take them. If you were like me and in the beginning of feeling, you know, low, when you go to the doctor and they offer tablets and you initially think, I don't want to go on tablets because I don't want to have to come off them, by all means, you know, try something else first. And then if that hasn't worked for you, you're still considering medication, there's no harm in, you know, when you speak to your doctor, seeing what the doctor can prescribe for you and all of the other things they can do for you. There's so much more out there than just medication, but it's definitely something to consider. I've mainly made this video because when I was researching Citalopram, I could find about 3 personal encounters or experiences with it. One was for anxiety and one was 40 mg, so, you know, I didn't know what to expect or what this would do for me. I just had no idea what to expect, and that's pretty scary when you're going on medication, especially for your mental health. What is this medication actually going to do to me or do for me? So I really am hoping that this is helpful in some ways. If there are any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me them. I can only go off my personal experience and, you know, what I felt and gone through. So I do hope this is helpful for people who are unsure about medication, scared about it, or have taken it themselves and haven't found the right one. Like I said, I am a bit scared to come off them, but I will do a little update of my medication after I've been to the doctors at the end of the month, and yeah, I'll see what happens with that. Thanks for watching the video, and hopefully everyone is well and this was helpful for you.